Tonight on Podcast Them Down, is your state's flag metal as or is it just a banner for posers? Cast them down! Hail Metal Nation, it is we, Podcast Them Down. Matt, Tim, and Doug, not in that order, and we are here tonight, today, this week, the next several episodes, to evaluate every flag in the United States and decide how metal and how good they all are. So I was thinking we could do similarly to what we do for Star Trek episodes. We will judge their quality as well as their metalness, so we can determine who has the best state flag and who has the most metal state flag.
All right, and just to clarify, because with flags, we're going to immediately run into some things with the process of creating a flag, of ending up with what the flag that might exist is quite metal, but at the same time, we disapprove of the flag itself.
Correct.
So, but I guess the resentment and all that would go in metal, and then we can be socially responsible on the quality side.
Yeah. So that is something I was thinking about while I was getting these together, because some states just took Confederate flags and threw, I don't know, North Carolina on it.
Yeah, and nobody remembers what the actual flag of the CSA was, so at least one state uses that directly, and nobody gives a shit because it's not an informal flag that was used by the Army.
Right.
Yeah, because there's only three flags. There's the Bonnie White banner, there's the blood stripe flag, and then the X guy. But there was no other flags at all. So any other flag is good to go.
Yeah. So we are not. We should probably avoid the history of these flags.
Probably. Oh, you know what? No, I think we should say their names.
Okay. Well, so for quality, how about we just put the quality scoring will be based solely on design decisions.
Oh,
and then we can put the history into whether it's metal.
All right. I feel that's fair.
That's where we can pick up metal processes, but disapprove of the outcome potentially.
Yeah, I like that a lot. We should also mention that we are not rating the states themselves. We are rating their flags. However, I'm sure there is a non-zero correlation between the metalness and goodness of flags and the metalness and goodness of states. But as a disclaimer, we're not talking about Delawareans or Arkansasites. We're talking about the flags. Just the flags, everybody.
And it's unfortunate that our state has such a fantastic flag that it's going to look like bias. Maybe. We don't know yet.
Perhaps.
Counting's not done.
You know what? I'm predicting a high quality score, but less than stellar metalness scores. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Oh, also, are we doing insular and other incorporated territories of the United States?
Don't read ahead.
Oh, shit. Okay. All right.
All right.
Nice.
We are going alphabetically by state. So let us begin with Alabama. So for the viewers, I have the flag, the state name beside the flag, and the year that particular design was adopted. So this Alabama flag was adopted in February 16th, 1895. And that exists wherever possible. Now, it turns out some of these are like, they changed the color from blue to dark blue or something like that. And and there's still some of those. And oddly, there's like multiple dates for some of them. And I would like to remind myself that this is an audio medium, so we should probably describe the flags. All right, so Alabama.
Wait, before you proceed, I have a point of order question. Do we have a spreadsheet?
Yes, but I don't want you to look at it.
Okay, all right. Okay, that's fair. All
Because
right.
that'll spoil all the surprises.
Okay.
And where's the link I'm meant to follow? I'm on Wikipedia.
Just go to flags of the U.S. states and territories.
All right, I'm there.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So the Alabama flag, big red X on a white field. It looks like the Scottish flag, only they flip the colors around.
I believe that in vexillological talk, that is called a saltire. And yeah, it's an X. It's just a big red X. I like it because it tells you everything you need to know about Alabama.
Don't go here.
Right, exactly. So I think that's a pretty bold choice of a flag.
I kind of it's like the Family Feud X on its side. You know, when they get the question wrong and it does this. No, wait, it does this.
Exactly.
Their 1861 flag was fantastic, though.
See, now I gotta
look at.
Now I gotta eat up one of my
Oh.
screens looking at this. All right, so their 1861 flag.
That's a dope flag.
I'm
It
looking
has
at
it's a blue flag.
Oh, well, most importantly, it's different on both sides.
Yep.
Yes. And the different size font,
Mm-hmm. And
because they couldn't fit it all. Like,
it also has a flag of Alabama that's not the Alabama flag, which I always enjoy. So the obverse, I guess, of the flag is a woman holding a flag that just says Alabama with a star. And she has a sword and a helmet of some kind, or maybe a crown with a star. And it says independent now and forever. And the back is a snake in a cotton field. And it says noli me tangere, which is Latin for do not touch me. It comes from the Bible. After Jesus was resurrected, and he told people not to touch him. So I'm not quite sure. I guess it's like a fake ass don't tread on me, but wildly out of context.
Yeah, well, but we're talking about the red.
We're talking
X
about
flag.
the current one. Oh.
but I think it's a fair process consideration,
Okay,
because
sure.
they threw that out to end up with this.
You're like, we keep misspelling the words on the flag. Can we go for something simple? How about an X?
We can't read.
Like, there's probably a very good reason why they couldn't use the flag they adopted in 1861. Just saying.
Yeah.
Probably certain amendments to the Constitution.
That were in effect for like 3 years.
Yeah. It's a simple flag. You can draw it with one marker. It's very easy to learn. I'm sure all the young Alabamans can draw their flag like that. It's also a very dull flag. It's like your flag starter kit. If there was like Flag Builder Pro, like this would be one of the default templates. So I'm gonna have to give this flag a 2 metal score and a 2 quality score.
Honestly, it's a 5 quality.
Really?
Metal. The bard from Florida. That's unfortunately metal. 5. I think
5 and 5.
I think they ended up with as metal a flag as they thought they could get away with.
Now I dispute that, because there are many states all around them that ended up with much metaler flags.
Well, there's nothing embarrassing about this flag. I'll say that, though. We can. It's simple, yes, but
it's embarrassing. It's like, that's it. You're Alabama. You're the first state alphabetically. That means in a giant row of flags of the U.S. states, you're always going to be first. And you're just setting yourself up. Well, here it is. Here's as good as we've got. It's not even a star.
I mean, if we look at the governor's flag, which is different,
If it was the governor's flag,
I don't think adding that crap does anything. So I guess
I'm not.
We don't have to keep the template, I suppose, is your point.
Right. I'm not suggesting you add one of these whack ass governor's flags, including the one with the motto "Here we rest." But again, I'm not talking about those flags per se. I'm talking about this lame ass 2-color. There's your flag. Just there's no work there.
I reserve the right to calibrate my score as we go along.
I
I think
agree.
this is a bad state to start with.
So Alabama's the Minnesota Wild.
Well, just for that, I'm going to add half a point back to the Minnesota Wild. All right. I think it's better than it is metal. So I'm going to go 4 quality, 3 metalness. Yeah, that's all I got. All right. Next up, we have Alaska. So the flag of Alaska is 8 gold stars in the shape of the Big Dipper on a dark blue field. And then there's the North Star.
I actually believe it's the Little Dipper because it's pointing to Polaris.
Now, the Big Dipper points to Polaris. So it also has Polaris on there. And that star is way bigger than all the stars in the Big Dipper.
Oh, that's right.
Which is inaccurate. Polaris is dim compared to all the other stars. So I'm going to have to ding them for that.
Isn't Polaris part of the Little Dipper?
I don't
that's
think so.
The problem. It is. It's the gamma star of the Little Dipper, I think, or it's the alpha star. Or I don't know. It's one of them stars.
Dipper.
All right, we'll let Tim continue to beat up on a kid.
Yeah.
There's no mention of Little Dipper in Polaris, but there is a mention of Big Dipper in Polaris on the Wikipedia page.
Ursa Minoris is the little bear, is the Little Dipper.
Okay, well, it doesn't.
You're right.
In Stewart, Alaska, in 1927, they probably didn't have access to the Wikipedia.
Right.
All I'm saying is 96 years ago, this was adopted May 2nd, 1927. He could look up and see that Polaris is not as bright as the other stars in the Big Dipper.
That's probably true.
Big Dipper, but
I mean, he was an orphan. We don't know when he was allowed to go outside or not.
Yeah, and maybe and asshole, maybe they designed it during one of the times when it's light all the time. Maybe they designed it in July.
Oh yeah, he's like, what did it look like?
How does that look again? He's like, it's the flag's due September 1st. He's like, fuck.
Okay, turns out we're both right. The Big Dipper, the edge of it points to Polaris, which is the end of the handle in the Little Dipper. Thank you.
But it goes the other way. Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. So this is an amazing flag. I really like it. I also like how it's kind of like if you had to design the inverse of a communist flag, it's basically this. So it's like blue with, instead of stars and stuff being all together, they're just kind of like scattered around. If you look at the original flag design, it's even stupider and much harder to tell it's the Big Dipper. I think this is an A+ flag, which is why I will be giving this an 8.5, a B+ in quality, and an 8.5, a B+ in metal.
That's a 8.5 is a perfect B, not a B+.
Oh, well, sorry. It's not like I'm a college professor or anything.
We're not grading on unless there is a curve. I mean, I had a 33% that turned out to be a B once. So.
I don't control the spreadsheet. I don't know if there's a curve.
We'll cross that bridge.
And the Alaska state song is about the flag, except it wasn't written about the flag specifically, though it exactly aligns.
That's incredible. Another great thing, like when the United States eventually does break off into various constituent countries, like Alaska is going to be a force to be reckoned with. And I'm looking forward to seeing this as like the insignia on fighter planes and stuff. It's going to be cool.
I think it's a good flag, and I think it's pretty metal. But again, like Alabama, it's better than it is metal. So I'm going to give it a 9 quality and a 7 metal. Because it's the night sky, which happens very long in
it's
Alaska.
Cold and brutal. Like, I feel cold looking at this flag.
Yeah, but if you were, I mean, you go out when it's 90 degrees right now and see the same thing.
Okay, I guess that's true.
I mean, as a work of representative art, it's pretty good, but I don't want to go out and fly this thing for whatever reason. But I'm going to give it a 7. And I like that kid and that he won. So it gets an 8 in terms of the medal, which is my process score.
All right.
Okay.
Next up, Arizona's flag, adopted February 27th, 1917. Let's see, it's 13 red and yellow rays on the top half and blue on the lower half with a copper star in the center. This is not colorblind friendly, like at all.
I like that.
Yeah, so it's a big star that's kind of exploding, which I feel like would be better for like New Mexico because of all the atomic tests they had there. This predates the atomic tests. But why the stars?
And the stripes represent the original 13 colonies, which Arizona was not one of.
Yeah, what's the point of that?
What's the copper star about? What does that have to do with anything? Was there copper in Arizona?
Arizona is the largest copper producer in the U.S.
Okay, well, they should have. I see how they wanted to. We got copper, we got sun, but I don't think it works here. Especially the blue. What does the blue have anything to do with anything? There's no blue, especially these days in Arizona.
Maybe it's Lake Havasu.
And by blue, I meant water. Just to be clear.
Apparently, the red and yellow alternation is also supposed to be reminiscent of the Spanish flag.
And I think they did a bad job of appropriation, like across the board. Like when I think Arizona, I think like tacky, American Indian inspired art or Spanish. And this kind of just sandbags. It doesn't do one, and then it sandbags the Spanish thing a bit.
Yeah. And I also don't like the way that the rays sort of going into the star, it doesn't work optically. It looks very confusing and messy to me.
And it's like the star has to be centered, but that's not helping with the rays.
Yeah, not at all.
Is it meant to be a landscape?
No,
is the sun hiding behind the star, and that's the plane, a straight plane across?
That's a great point, Doug. Like this could have been a sunrise. You could have made this into like an oval or even a circle and made this much better.
The blue is Liberty blue, identical to the color in the United States flag field of stars.
Well, who gives a shit?
And it's specifically a setting sun, even though it's a copper star. Okay.
So we fixed their flag for them in 30 seconds.
Yeah, so
this is still their flag.
I get what they're going for, but they failed miserably at it. The quality is a 2. I want to say 1, but I feel like we can do worse. And the metalness, like, again, I see what they're going for. They're all in, even though it looks awkward on signs and on a flagpole, but they kind of stuck with it, which I'll give it a little bit of metalness for that. So 3.
You're not wrong. I'm going to give this a 4 quality. It's a good idea. It's poorly executed. But at least they're trying. At least they're just not throwing like a red cross and calling it a day. This at least like is identifiable as something. It's very poserish. It's only a 2 metalness, which is a shame because Arizona can be a very metal state, but it's just not coming through here.
It's I don't want to fly that, and I have a story as to what it means, but it's not what it means.
Our eagle-eared listeners are going to hear this clinking that's already driving me insane. And now you're not doing it. Sorry. That is ice on glass, and it's driving me nuts.
That's what the pirate said when there was a
steering wheel in his pants.
Steering wheel coming out of his breeches.
So, it's a 2.
I'm going to call it out every time I hear it now. All right, it's a 2 quality.
I'm going to give the process a 4. I do like how they were specifically trying to make it not resemble the imperial Japanese flag, and then failed at that too.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think of that. All right.
Okay, you're right. We'll fix that.
All right. Next up is the flag of Arkansas. Let's see. It's a rectangular field of red on which is placed a large white diamond bordered by a wide band of blue. All right. Across the diamond is the word Arkansas in blue and 4 blue stars. Okay. One above, 3 below the word. So there's 1 star above Arkansas, 3 below Arkansas, and then on the blue band there's 25 stars. And they adopted this originally February 26, 1913. The most recent modification, which was one of those slight color adjustments for no reason. That was February 28th, 2011.
I do like how the origin story is the flag was they named a ship the Arkansas, then they requested Arkansas flag and were told there isn't one. So someone made one.
That's kind of similar to the Arizona one. They they showed up for a rifle competition, and the people from Arizona were the only ones without
a flag,
without some kind of symbol.
And they keep doubling down on crap. Like, they're like, oh, we'll fix this. Make the blue darker. It just looks like something you'd find on like a off-brand t-shirt at Walmart.
Oh, the 4th star was added in 1923, representing the Confederate States.
Yep. Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb right here. I love this flag for reasons I shouldn't. Number 1, it is very clearly just the Confederate battle flag reconfigured. Like, they just cut it in half and switched the sides, and they're like, this is a new flag. So I like the cleverness there. I also think in many cases having the state name on your flag is a bad idea, but for some reason for Arkansas it just makes sense. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to give this a 5. There's some design problems, but it's pretty iconic. I'm going to give this a 6 quality score and an 8 metal score.
Okay, so real quick, those stars in the white above and below Arkansas represent the nations to which Arkansas has belonged. France,
in the bottom,
Spain, and the United States. Then they added the Confederacy because it was admitted to the Confederacy. Okay. However, point of order, that wasn't a country. And you lost.
Yeah.
So your flag is bullshit.
Hold on.
Your flag is bullshit. And it's dumb. If a good branding doesn't mean putting your name in Helvetica on it. That is not good branding at all. So anyway,
you don't like the fact that they have 25 stars in the bands to signify that they're the 25th state.
Yeah, like this is the most they could put together. With their what state are we? So
I check out the saluting verbiage, which is just a description of the flag.
Quote, I salute the Arkansas flag with its diamond and stars. We pledge our loyalty to thee.
Great pledge.
That's we need a slow clap on here. Anyway, quality. They tried even at least Arizona tried. Yeah. So I'm gonna go 1. I think this is a terrible flag.
Wow.
The metalness, I don't know. It's not metal at all. It's just boring. 2.
I don't know. I think hacking up an offensive image and then recasting it as something you just made up is pretty metal. I do like, so by adding the Confederacy, which to your point is not, it never was a country, it was some rogue actors. But it debalances the stars. From a weight perspective of the image, they made the least worst decision, but it doesn't look good. And the text is stupid. The only, like, if they did some of it, and if they did it in title case, that really would have made sense.
Like Cap A.
Yeah. I suggest they look at that when they change it for the 5th time in a century. What did you give it, Matt?
I don't even remember. I think I gave it a 6 and an 8. Something like that.
I mean, it would work on like a t-shirt, a $9.99 t-shirt at Walmart really well.
It would.
And I think that's kind of what it's made for at the end. So honestly, it's a 5. Like, I could, if I lived in the state and was a different person, I could see flying this.
Yeah.
Which I wouldn't say about the Arizona flag.
And that's a great point. Doug. Like, you couldn't wear Arkansas flag apparel very easily. Like, what is Alabama flag apparel? It's just nothing.
Yeah, but you can make your own. You just need a red Sharpie.
That's worse. That's even worse.
What was your metal score, though? You said 5.
I mean, the all the doubling down on unpleasant things. They're claiming to be part of 3 countries, 4 by some counting. The stupid salute. Oh, that's kind of metal.
It is as dumb as it is metal, I suppose.
which is equals metal. They protect the colors. They all probably do that, though. It's a 4 also.
Okay. All right. Moving right along. Flag of California, adopted February 3rd, 1911. This has a star in the top left, a red star, and a California grizzly bear atop a mound of green grass defacing a white field. Now, that's the vexillology. Vexillological term. By the way, it was requested that we call this episode Fun with Flags.
Yes.
All right. Anyway, then all this is on a white background. So this is kind of what I was talking about. Branding. It says California Republic on it, right? But that's not the brand you come away with. You come away with the bear. You see the bear and you're like, oh, California.
Yeah.
Yes.
But California thinks of itself as more than a state.
It does.
Yeah, so it does say California Republic, which it is not.
Well, I mean, and the problem is it's a redesign of a flag that never existed. So there was a bear flag in sort of California's Republic's breakaway from Mexico, but it looked nothing like this flag. It was just, again, one of these early 19th century flags that were just made by cutting out fabric. So it had none of this like high design. It was just a star and a really shitty bear and the words California Republic against a white flag with a red
serif
stripe.
font. I like this new font of California Republic, but I think they did a great job touching it back up. However, that bear is like giving you the side eye.
Yeah. And also, I always thought the bear looked a little constipated.
Yeah, maybe he's got a worried expression. And I like how they use the red to fill out the detail on the tongue. And what is the range of the California grizzly? Because I feel like south of Sacramento, you're not really going to see those, are you?
Oh, it's extinct in the wild.
Oh.
Yeah. This was based on the last one in captivity, some people assert.
Yeah.
That's why you look so worried.
Oh, dear. Specimen shot in 1916.
Shot? Why?
Oh, dear.
Well, California has a pretty sordid and exceptional history, and I think this flag fits in with that nicely, and it's a nice work of design on its own. Honestly, it's an 8.
In 2014, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service received and rejected a petition to reintroduce grizzly bears to California.
What about the metalness, Doug?
I feel like they neutered the metalness. 5.
Yeah, you know what? You're right, Doug. This is a 6 quality. It's a 6.5 quality. Again, I usually don't like words on flags, but in this case, I think it works. There is a big problem here with having a fearsome creature and putting it in the most impotent and powerless of poses. You may as well have had a sleeping grizzly bear. I have no fear. He just appears to be sheepishly walking away from me. Why have a big scary animal?
Sheepish
on your
is
flag?
the perfect description of that expression.
So it's a 4. It's a 4 metal. It's not very metal at all.
Before I lay my scores, I want to tell you what all the colors are called.
Okay.
White, of course.
All right.
The green is Irish green.
Okay.
The red is Old Glory red. And then the bear, the highlights of the bear are maple sugar. And the dark parts are seal.
Don't cry.
Right. So, my major sticking point with this flag is it says California Republic, which is not what California is. So
true.
Because of the flagrant inaccuracy, I'm gonna have to penalize it like I did Arkansas, and I'm gonna give it a 3. I think it's moderately metal. There's a bear and a fucking star, but once again, they failed in execution. I'm gonna go 4 metalness.
You just called California out for posing, and then are penalizing them for it too.
Yeah,
that's fine.
All
right. Next is the flag of Colorado, adopted June 5th, 1911. Lots of flags in 1911.
I guess it was a banner year for flag makers.
Hey,
I didn't even realize I said that.
Well, I still don't have the but I do have this.
Oh, that doesn't work.
All right. Colorado is 3 horizontal stripes, blue, white, blue. On top of these stripes sits slightly to the left is a circular red C filled with a golden disc.
Oh, Colorado.
I like their motto.
What's their motto?
Nothing without providence or deity.
Wow. That's a pretty... that's definitely putting it out there.
That should be on the flag, like around the sea.
Yeah.
So the blue is meant to represent the sky, the gold, the abundant sunshine the state receives, unless you're on the other side of the mountain, I guess. And the white is the snow-capped Rocky Mountains, and the red, the ruddy earth. The gold and white portions of the flag also represents the state's gold and silver mining industries. So if it's the sky, why is it on the bottom too? Unless we're looking down. Are we looking down, like from above the sun? We're looking down on Colorado. The flag is the shape of Colorado, so I'll give them that.
That makes even less. It would only make sense if we were lying on the ground looking up and there was a mountain in the way.
Yeah,
it is very good as a work of branding, though, to an annoying degree.
Totally agree.
This is a soulless corporate flag.
Like
if there was like Colorado Mart, like this would be a perfect logo for it.
And it was soulless in a modernistic way really early, too, 1911.
That is true. That's also true. It's sort of at the avant-garde of soulless, mind-sucking design.
I can't not give it a 5.
I give it a 4. And for metalness, I give it a 2. Not
I'm
Yeah,
gonna.
it wasn't a very metal process. I'm a 3.
even
Yeah,
though there are 2 metals depicted on there.
I am with Doug here. I will give it a 5 for design. And in recognition of the 2 metals, I'll bump it up to a 3.5 for metalness.
All right. Next is Connecticut. Let's see. This is a white shield.
It's like a Legend of Zelda map.
White shield with 3 grapevines on
Because
a field
those Connecticut grapes.
a field of azure blue. So below the shield with the grapes on it and what look like berries around the shield, because you have to adorn your shield with fruit, I guess. There's a ribbon that says Qui transtulit sustinet, which is Latin for he who transplanted sustains, which is Connecticut's state motto.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Isn't the aspect ratio different?
Yes. So a lot of these flags
Yeah.
are actually not like Hawaii, which we'll talk about later, is like very long.
Yeah. So a proper flag ratio is 2-3. So if your flag isn't 2-3, you're a deviant flag.
Well, this one is
and
3-4.
3-4. This is a bad flag design. I can't. I don't get it. Nothing here says Connecticut to me. I don't know what they're going for. The motto doesn't make any sense. It's just really, really, really bad. It's not Alabama bad, but it is not metal. It's a 1 metal. I guess you have 4 colors, so I'll give you a 3 in quality.
Well, apparently in the original proposal, there was 15 grapevines, which was reduced to 3 for the, and there's not even consistent agreement on what the 3 are, whether it's the oldest settlements or the 3 first settlements. Somehow are different.
Oh wow! Actually, so I'm looking at the seal that it's based on, and the seal itself is much better than the current flag. This is a shitty flag. Wow. Mm-mm.
So
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a video game, like a 8-bit. It's a 2.
I feel like video games would have done better, so I'm going to give this a 1.
Oh, these days they would have got the aspect ratio right.
Yeah.
And it's not metal at all. Like, at all. There's nothing metal about this. So, also a 1.
Sustainment, isn't it a shield?
A shield. Shields are metal. So, 2. Doug, I need a metal
What did
score. And Matt, if you said scores, I didn't write them down.
Oh god damn it! I don't even remember what they were.
I don't think you gave them.
I did give them. I'm gonna say it's a 4 design and a 2 metal.
And if I didn't give it a 2,
You just said 2.
Oh wait, hold on.
What?
I forgot about the aspect ratio. For quality, it has to be a what is 3 divided by 4? It is a 0.75 quality.
Oh, I wrote 0.76. Okay. Next up, the first state,
Ugh.
Delaware. All right, Delaware's flag, adopted July 24th, 1913. A colonial blue field with the state coat of arms inside a tan diamond above the date December 7th, 1787 in white. All right.
So
you're going to have to
I'm
lean in
going to
on
just
this
go
one.
out on a limb here and say I detest any Northeast state that just throws its lame ass coat of arms into its state flag and uses something. So I will give all of these flags a 1 and a 1, starting with Delaware.
1 and 1. So the flag has a cow on it.
I mean, I do like the cow. You know what?
There's a little
1.5 quality. 1.5.
There's a little bundle of wheat. There's an ear of corn.
A giant piece of corn.
There's a giant. There's a ship just above all of this, and then there's 2 dandy lads looking at each other across the shield thing, and it says liberty and independence. And Delaware doesn't have all that much going for it. I mean, didn't he get kicked out of New Jersey? So they like to remind everyone they were the first state.
I like how the farmer's shovel looks totally useless. Like, I don't think you could shovel with that thing very well.
I think that's a hoe.
Oh.
I like how they shovel all this fairly complex imagery into a quarter of the flag in a brown square in the center.
Yeah, the color choices are terrible. So I'm going to start at 0, but I'm going to work my way up because there is a cow on it. There's a ship on it. That's 2 right there. There's a date with no explanation. You're just supposed to know. I'll give that to the metal score. There's colors that are inexplicable on here because, I mean, it's got orange, it's got gold, it's got tan, it's got a weird shade of blue, it's got brown. The guy has a feather in his hat and he's wearing a green petticoat. Like, none of this works. I think this was made by the same people who made Arizona's flag, who don't know color theory. So in light of all this, I'm going to give it a 3 quality. And there is a rifle on it, which is metal. So I'm going to give it a 3 metalness.
I like how they put a fair amount of thought into this, and it ended up so bad.
Right.
And then their license plate is fantastic, and it doesn't look like they tried it all there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the license plate should just be their flag.
Yeah.
So it's a 3, but I think all this effort and using 9 colors, it's very progressive in a way that doesn't add up to anything. Honestly, it's a 4 process-wise. I mean, metal.
All right. Next, the state of Florida. All right. Florida's flag adopted November 6th, 1900. 2 red bars on a white field with the state seal in the center. So that's right. They looked at Alabama's flag and said, me too, but we got to make it a little different. So they slapped this complicated seal into the middle of it. So I think they actually took the nice parts of plopping the seal onto the Alabama flag, no matter what it is, ruins what was okay about the Alabama flag. So I'm going to give this flag, the Alabama scores -1.
Oh,
Strike that, -2.
I do recommend this unofficial 1845 flag.
I like that flag.
I can't find it. Care to describe it, please?
It's got an agrammatical statement.
Okay,
Matt will do it better.
Okay, you know how a lot of English colonies have the Union Jack in the canton?
Yes.
Okay, so it has the American flag in the canton, and then it has 5 multicolored stripes: blue, orange, red, white, and lime green. Okay, and then
I found it. The red. Okay, so in the canton, it has the 1840 whatever U.S. flag, the bottom stripe of which is red. So they put the big red stripe across the flag right below it, so it blends in for no reason. In the orange stripe. It has a ribbon that says "Let us alone."
Which I think should remain the motto of Florida.
Yeah. Or just fuck you. Like, they might as well just print that on the great seal of the state of Florida.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of like their flag because it captures what Florida is about.
I mean, I also do like the fact that it's just like Alabama, but a little more complicated.
But this 1845 flag, I feel like you could buy it and cut it up into at least 5 more flags. So you take the top left, you got your US 1840 whatever flag. Take the top right, you got your "Let Us Alone" Florida flag, right?
Yep.
And then you take the red, white, and green stripe, and what you could do is cut them up such that you get a flag of Italy. You get a marker. You can make a Tajikistan flag. You can make a Hungarian flag. If you can draw an eagle, you got a flag of Mexico. This is more flag for your buck. All you have to do is cut it way up. But we're not talking about this one.
We're not talking about this flag, though. I also like the blue and star flag, which is basically the flag of Somalia. This is not a great flag. The seal is too complicated. No one could ever get this right. I also dislike seals that say Great Seal. And again, this is combining the Alabama flag, which I didn't like, with a Northeast coat of arms flag, which I don't like, state seal flag. It's a 2 and a 2. That's the best I can do. I didn't mean to rhyme. I'll try better next time.
Did you give scores?
No, I'm still. Yeah, I mean, they get credit. Like, usually in God We Trust is kind of a reactionary anti-commie thing, and wasn't the country's official motto until the 50s, but it was on their flag as early as 1861.
Florida leading the way.
Yeah, I mean, I think this flag really captures what Florida's about. So in that sense, it's a 4 and a 4.
Okay, next up, the flag of Georgia.
All right.
Last modified February 19th, 2003. This is 3 horizontal stripes alternating white, red, white. And then in the canton is 13 white stars encircling the state's coat of arms in a blue field. So the stars represent Georgia as one of the 13 colonies.
Right.
That's the official explanation.
Right.
And then in the state seal, it's got like Roman columns, right, with a little roof and then an arch over the roof, and it says Constitution in the arch, and then various banners saying wisdom, justice, moderation, and below all that, in God we trust, and then it has a Revolutionary War soldier guy with a sword standing under the justice banner. There you go.
All right.
All right, let's just point it out. This is based on the first national flag of the Confederacy, which was the Stars and Bars flag.
I mean, I don't think it's based on. It is the flag of the Confederacy.
It's based on because they changed what was in the field.
I mean, they just put the little Constitution House inside the circle.
Right. I feel like they, the war ended, right? And the South lost. And they had like a big warehouse full of the flags, and like, shit, what do we do? Slap Georgia on there.
Well, so yeah. Basically, it's like, well, what are we gonna do with
that
all
is
these
the
flags?
nice version of what happened. That's not really what happened.
I might quibble with the South losing comment, but that's for a different podcast.
The story of this Georgia flag is insane, because they start with their first state flag is just the stars and bars without the stars. Then they add the weird Constitution House. Then they have a weirder Constitution House. They have a few versions of the Constitution House until they get to 1956, in which they say no one's getting that our Confederate flag is Confederate enough. So then they replace the bars with the Confederate battle flag. And they have that until 2001, in which point they decide their flag is too racist and too Confederate. And so the compromise design is just the national flag of the Confederate States.
No,
You skipped one.
You're missed. The compromise design is fantastic.
They have a wonderful compromise flag that includes both the battle flag and the stars and bars flag. It's a flag with flags on it, which I do enjoy.
And it's all about history. That's why they're doing this. And there's the whole history laid out.
It's heritage, Doug.
Okay, I'm ready. They can't design their own flag. They suck at it. They are terrible. It's a 1 and a 1.
It's a 1, but their process is really metal.
Yeah,
they get an 8 for the grievance baked into the history of their flag, but in terms of quality and what it represents, it's a 1.
It's an 8 metal. It's a 1 quality, and I'm gonna have to bump up Alabama's flag by a point in both quality and metal, just because maybe Alabama of all these Confederate states just got it right.
Yeah, I
knew I was right on Alabama.
I'm still disagreeing with the metalness of the Georgia flag.
I mean,
they're just a bunch of fucking whiner. It's emo, is what it is.
Okay, all right.
It's not metal. It's emo. All right.
So when the people bitching about Metallica using different logos, it's not the same thing.
Well, at least they didn't lift other bands' logos. All right.
I'm sure they released an album with all of their logos on it, or a single.
Okay, I'm also very confused by the Pledge of Allegiance to the Georgia flag. So if you remember, the words on the Georgia flag are Constitution, wisdom, justice, moderation. All right? Here is the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the Georgia flag and to the principles for which it stands. Wisdom, justice, moderation, and courage.
It's not what's on the
Well, they change it so much, it's hard to keep these things in sync.
I gave it a 1 and a 1. I can't take any more. Actually, I can. I'll give it a half and a half. Because
Doug, those words have been on the flag since 1902.
All right.
In every version.
Let's move along. Next, the flag of Hawaii. This was adopted December 29th, 1845, which was 177 years ago. The proportion of this one is 1-2.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then this is 8 alternating horizontal stripes of white, red, and blue with the 4x7 UK Union flag in the canton.
Mm-hmm.
So this one kind of hurts to look at, I think. So why is there a Union Jack on this flag?
So this is actually the national flag of the Kingdom of Hawaii. Excuse me, Hawaii. But and they just adopted it as the state flag. There's lots of speculation as to why the stripes are these colors. It seems mostly because the King Kamehameha I was a fan of the British, and when he saw that they had a flag, he said, "I want one of them too." And this is just what he could come up with. It is. I agree. It's not a great flag design-wise, but I do kind of like the history of the flag.
The 8 stripes.
I think it looks good in use, actually.
The 8 stripes represent the main islands of the Hawaiian archipelago. I can never say that word. But they
again,
don't have
I
any
don't
official. The colors do not have any official symbolism.
but I also don't think they actually do. I think this is all like back formation. It's like, oh well, there's 8 stripes and there's 8 islands. No, there's more than 8 islands, of course.
That's why it says major islands. Quick,
Yeah,
name
they're
all
just
the major islands. I can name 2 of them.
It's like apparently there was like a bunch of Russian flags left over, so this might just be a British flag and some historical Russian flags like sewn together. It's an awesome flag. Not design wise, of course. It's 8 metal to quality.
I agree with you on the process. It is an 8. I actually going to go with a 4. I on paper it looks terrible, but it is distinctive, and you see that flying, you know who it's about.
That is true.
Unlike California's flag, the Kingdom of Hawaii did exist.
Yeah.
So I like how they just took their flag and said, fuck it. It's the state flag. And you know what? We don't have to fuck with it. It has been unchanged for 177 years.
Yeah.
And I like that it doesn't quite work. And like you said, it probably works better in practice than on paper. But I'm going to give it a 6 and an 8.
You know what? Can you bump up my quality to a 4?
Sure.
I like the brazenness of it not working, and that is a design motif. As a nation incorporated into another nation, I like the audacity of this flag.
All right, next up. All right, this one's interesting. All right.
Here we go.
This is Idaho, adopted March 12th, 1907. The design is a state seal above the words State of Idaho in gold letters on a red and gold band, all on a blue field. The proportion of this, obviously, I'm sure you can tell by eye, is 26 by 33.
Fuck you.
So this actually looks more like the shape of Colorado than Colorado's flag. The proportions of Colorado.
Yeah, it's basically Colorado, the flag.
Yeah.
Well, I like how overwrought in every regard the seal is.
Yeah.
So
and then they give it a 20th of the flag.
I was about to say that. Yeah, the seal is very busy, and so they made it small.
I also love how the seal says Great Seal of the State of Idaho, but in case you forgot after you read that, then they have the little banner that says State of Idaho
in colors that don't work.
And it looks like the Grinch's toe when curling up.
It does. If they lost that State of Idaho thing in the red that has nothing to do with anything, maybe it would be a little less bad. Maybe if you're going to go the lazy route and just put your seal on your flag, maybe blow it up, because I'm seeing mountains and elk and a liberty and a minor and cornucopias and some wheat, our good friend wheat. And is that a moose? It might be a moose.
It might be a moose.
It's basically a Bob Ross painting with some liberty stuff around it.
The miner has a jaunty kerchief around his neck.
He does.
The State of Idaho font isn't even the same font as the seal of Idaho.
Well, I think that's a great touch, personally.
I hate to do this. I like the audacity of this flag. I like the fact that this is just trolling. Like someone in Washington said, "Hey Idaho, we need a flag," and then they delivered this roll of toilet paper. So unfortunately, I have to give this a 0 for quality, but a 6 for metalness.
If I could score the seal separately, I would give the seal probably an 8.
But this is not the state seal.
Right,
metalness.
it's not. It's too small on the flag.
It's on the flag. Okay, yeah.
Right, it's too small on the flag, so you can't appreciate the seal. The flag is a weird cut. It's like in metric or something. Nothing about this works. So, let's see. I gave Georgia 1/2. I'm going to have to go lower than Georgia, so I'm going to go 0. and I'll give it a metal based on like if we described what was on the flag in the seal, and those things are on the flag, and all of those are kind of metal, especially because he's holding two implements of destruction, the jaunty miner with his neckerchief. So I'm gonna give it a 4 for metalness.
I like it. It is distinctively terrible, and like if you were to fly this and its actual aspect ratio, you'd be like, "What's that blue square?" Like I can't see what's in the gold circle, which I think would be pretty metal. And the seal is so busy for a state that's so empty.
But you know,
man,
I would have been happy with just an empty blue flag, or just a big letter I.
Or take the seal out and just leave the Grinch shoes and put that at the center.
I'd go the other way if I were redesigning it. I'd take away the Grinch shoes and make the seal very big.
And make it perfectly square.
There you go. Yeah, I'd fix the aspect ratio for sure.
See, in a different world, this Idaho Department of Transportation seal would be in the center of the flag. It would look better. It's a 1.
I heard it. Where's the ding?
I mean, this is so half-assed. Oh, the only woman to design a flag. Is she a designer, or did she win a contest? She's awarded $100.
Well, that's
in 1907, though. That's a lot of money.
1891.
Oh, even more.
Yeah. So look, the legislature signed off on this. I have to assume it's very representative of what the people of this state want. So I'm going to respect that. It's actually a 2 quality and a 6 process.
Wow.
And I love the win a contest. I probably talked about the Baltimore County flag on this show, so I won't. But winning a contest and then having to go with that is the best way you can end up with a flag.
All right. Okay.
All right. Next up is the flag of Illinois, adopted September 17th, 1969. Woo! It's 3x5, fits nicely on an index card. Lots of white on there, so this is the index card flag. They sketched it out on a napkin. They turned it in.
It is literally 3x5.
It's the state seal above the word Illinois in blue on a white field. And once again, the branding on here is the eagle standing atop the rock, with the U.S. shield and holding the ribbon, and not the word Illinois. So I'm just telling you, Arkansas, you fucking blew it.
Yeah.
So the banner the eagle is holding, it's a bald eagle. It says, what order are you supposed to read this in? National Union State Sovereignty? Is that it?
I guess so.
And then
Union National Sovereignty State.
Upon the rock he's sort of standing on, it says 1868, 1818, and then around the rock is a lame attempt at drawing grass, with basically little green Eiffel Towers. And that's
I thought the eagle was gigantic, and that was a forest.
Maybe. And then there's, I assume, Lake Michigan behind him, and and
that makes
that's got to be a sunrise. So the sun's coming up over Lake Michigan, so it's early in the morning, I suppose, as opposed to Arizona where it's specifically sunset.
Okay. I don't hate this. I think it looks
like something you get in a clip art package.
Yeah, it looks like it was designed by like a 5th grader. But it's not necessarily all that bad. I like it better than like Delaware, for example, even though I generally dislike coat of arms states.
Yeah, this is nowhere near as bad as that. Like,
Yeah.
It is. It's the proper size for the coat of arms to be on the flag.
Yeah.
And
It's
nowhere
not
in the
teeny
coat
tiny.
of arms does it say Illinois, so they had to write it under
Right.
there. I think this is, at least so far, the least bad coat of arms one so far.
I would agree with that. It's not a winner, but it's not a loser. I'm gonna give this a straight 5s, 5 and 5.
I'm
It's
going to do exactly that.
Yeah, it's a totally serviceable state flag.
Yeah, I concur.
It's perfectly
I do-
medium.
I like because and Matt, what's the history of the shield? The symbolic history of the shield.
I think it's just
It's kind of like Jacksonian, isn't it?
yeah, it's like just like the Union defends us. You know,
It's like that. Just boom. There's your flag, and I like how it's just lying on the ground. So yeah, 5 and 5.
I also like if you look at the Great Seal of the United States, the eagle is behind the shield. But here, like the shield is like in front of the eagle's chest. So here it's kind of like the eagle's like on his day off, like the shield's just kind of lying on the ground.
They put it down. Needed to catch the ribbon with the state motto.
I do like that one of the words is upside down on the ribbon.
I also like that too, and I also like the fact that the word that upside down is sovereignty. Like, are they trolling us?
I like the TH after 26th, and I like the 1818 appearing twice.
Yeah, that's cool. Conspiracy theory, Illinois flag, sovereignty.
Don't start it.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah, don't ask questions you don't want answers to. Okay.
All right.
Well, that wraps it up for this episode. So we are going to continue evaluating flags on either the next episode or the one after the next episode. So until next time, Metal Nation, make sure your state seal is big enough on your flag if you're fucking too lazy to design a real flag like a man.
We will see
Arkansas.
you in September.
Cast
You're the only hoe I see. Wait, no, that doesn't work.